Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are we all doing? I hope all is well with you. Today's date is 11th of December 2025. I would like to start by telling you what happened 3 days ago. All right. As many of you already know, that Burkina Faso and Nigerian government are having issue. And this issue is not going to end anytime soon the way things are going. So there's this update because on 8th of December, it was announced that Nigerian jet was captured in Burkina Faso airspace. Though the news started with two different versions. From Burkina Faso angle, they said that they are the one that forced the plane down. That aircraft, military aircraft, they forced it down to land in Burkina Faso. From the side of Nigeria, they said no, that our jet was having issue. We were on our way to Portugal, and our jet started having issue according to international law, which I don't know about. I think aviation law, something like that. That if you're having issue, the next thing you need to do is to land in the nearest airport. So the nearest airport is where you expect to land, just to save the aircraft and to save the people in the aircraft. And therefore, they decided to make use of Burkina Faso airspace to land because the jet was developing issue. Okay, people said, okay, if that is the case, there's no need to detain the people on board and seize the aircraft, because Burkina Faso have seized it. It was announced, of course. Now, Nigerian government was trying to look for a way to make this announcement as if it doesn't really matter, like it is normal, it is a routine thing, like no, there's no cause for alarm. It's just a matter of investigation. Then Burkina Faso will just release them. The question is, were they having issue? Like, is there any problem between Burkina Faso and Niger and Nigeria? It was all started last year or early this year when Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger decided to leave ECOWAS because they see ECOWAS as a kind of enabler for French government or all these European countries to take resources from Africa, because most of these countries in Africa have realized that we cannot continue this way. We need to forge ahead, okay? But from the Nigerian side, and of course, countries like Cameroon, they still help in this colonial powers. They want to continue doing what they're doing. They want to just keep them going. And countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso said no. They need to move forward and develop their country because of corruption and the involvement of the West. When we say the West, I'm talking about those countries that colonized some African countries like France and Britain. Nigeria don't want to let go. They just want to continue doing what they did. They just want to allow themselves to be used against other African countries. It's no longer against Nigerians or against people of the country like Cameroonians and all that. They're actually using themselves, allowing themselves to be used against other African countries. And Mali and Niger and Burkina, they were like, no, we are too big to that now. We have moved forward, we have moved on, and we cannot go back to our vomit. There was a coup plot in Benin Republic, which Nigerian government decided to get themselves involved by pressing some buttons that made people to question their decision and what they actually want to achieve. It was reported that France have decided to get them to do that. Even the current Nigerian president, Tinubu, did not even seek for advice from Senate. He decided to do it on his own. He pressed the button and sent fighter jet to go there and strike, which they did on 8th of December. Then on 9th, we started hearing that there's another aircraft moving somewhere, hovering around airspace, Burkina Faso airspace. And like I told you, the reportage, well, it was like from different versions. Some said from Burkina Faso, they are the one that forced the aircraft down. From Nigeria, they said no, we decided to land because we are having technical issue with our aircraft. Okay, so people begin to argue about it. But the truth, the bottom line is that passengers and aircraft they are now in Burkina Faso. Then yesterday, this happened, right? As you can see here, they made this kind of publication, this kind of announcement. Yesterday was 10th of December, right? Breaking, Burkina Faso released 11 Nigerians officers, that is, they call them Air Force, right? So the 11 military Air Force, military in the aircraft that was, captured and detained in Burkina Faso, together with the aircraft itself, that they have released them. 11 Nigerian officers after Nigerian Air Force claims the aircraft was en route to Portugal. They have released them. People say, I've saw some people, some Nigerians, some people from Southwest, from President's side, that now you come Burkina Faso, you did well. If not, you guys would have seen something. Another guy made a video claiming that Nigerian will smoke Burkina Faso within 1 week. That it's not going to take much time. They will smoke them off. And the guy was saying, and they kind of sending a public appeal to Burkina Faso president, which we are seeing now, Ibrahim Traoré, telling him, this is just a trap. Don't fall to that. They want to set you up using Nigerian, because if you fall to this trap, they're gonna smoke you out. They kind of try to create fear to people from Burkina Faso and Burkina Faso government and all that. I believe this kind of clip, of course, may get to the president. That is not the fact. But that did not move anything, because Burkina Faso maintained their stand. They refused to release anything releasable, even though Nigeria have officially reported that they have released those hostage and aircraft. Then AES, which is Alliance of Sahel States, made this publication. This is the handle that said AES alert. That's the name of the handle. It said fake. No one has been released. The 11 officers are still in detention in Burkina Faso. Your government better give a real explanation before Thursday, that is today, or it is straight to jail. In other words, the Nigerian government will give you, because they are responding to Nigerian stories who made this publication about plane going to Portugal, and Burkina Faso have released them after all what? Okay? They said no. You are just going to go back to your government and ask them to explain to you what were they doing in Burkina Faso airspace. That AES is no longer under ECOWAS. You come into our airspace without authorization, we are not going to tolerate that. And remember, the coup, the third coup in Benin Republic, it was also reported that few people from Burkina Faso were there. Like, it's not about Benin Republic, that kind of Burkina Faso people, Burkina Faso citizens, somehow are involved in that. But what they don't tell us is if those ones are civilians or military. But whether it is civilian or military, I don't know. But whichever way, the truth is that they are all from Burkina Faso. For some Nigerians claiming that they're going to smoke them out and do this and do that, I want you to understand one thing. Burkina, once an abegu na ama were onye na-akwụrụ ịgba nọ n'ime ọfịa, kwanza ụmụ na-agba egwu n'ụzọ, ụmụ kenere na-amachari n'ụzọ, o wee ife na-akwụrụ egwu nọ n'ime ọfịa, wee buru ilu buru okwu. In other words, Burkina Faso doing what they're doing, and Niger and Mali, there are some strong force behind them, which many of you know. But I don't think you need further explanation to that. One of the video that my one Nigerian made, these content creators made, where I think the same video that got that they advised Burkina Faso president, telling him that I love you, but do not allow these people to push you. Don't fall to their trap. They want to smoke you out. Nigerian, they are capable to deal with you, and Burkina Faso cannot stand any chance whatsoever. But what the guy forgot is that you are not talking about Burkina Faso alone. You're talking about Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Do you get it now? Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Only the border between Nigeria and Niger is what is terrorizing Nigeria. Get it clear. Only that border. Although Niger claim to, they claim they are fighting insurgents, and they are dealing with them more than Nigerians are dealing with the insurgents as well. They are not even, Nigerians are not doing anything. But Niger are doing something more meaningful, more reasonable, more efficient to compare that of Nigeria. If you think you are going to fight Burkina Faso, you are fighting three nations. That's number one. Number two, you are fighting Russia. Some of you say, because I know how Nigerians reason. But France is the one pressing the button for Nigeria, right? It is not a new fight. Russia are not new to this game. They have been fighting in Ukraine, and France is involved. So where is that strength they're talking about? They just want to bring Africa versus Africa together to reduce population. That's my take. If not, tell me why Tinubu chose to do what he's doing. If Burkina Faso citizens are happy, why must you allow yourself to be used? I'm just curious to know. Because African first. They are fighting with one eye open, one eye closed in Ukraine. You getting involved, want to center this fight in Africa, is not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And I want us to realize this. It's going to help us. But do they care? I don't think so. Moving forward, let's go to other things, because here you can see what Sahel Revolutionary Soldier said. Burkina Faso will not trouble anyone, but we will hesitate. Okay, I think we will not hesitate to use every means at our disposal to defend our peoples and dignity and interests. You get the point? The fight we are executing is not just a Burkina Faso fight, but a fight for Africa. This is why thousands and millions of people are clapping for Ibrahim Traoré. Why? Because he's doing what every country wishes to have, every country in Africa you wish to have as we speak. He's not just a military man. Some of them say, but he integrated, what are they saying? He distracted the kind of democracy or something like that. It is not about what he did, about democracy, about civilian rule and all that. But good governance is what matters. People literally don't care about whether civilian or military now, because there's some condition that you will find yourself. You don't need to put all this into consideration. You can't put it into consideration because you are so desperate and so eager to get this done in the right way. Honestly, my own opinion, as it is now in Africa, I don't think Africans need civilian rule. I don't think it's good. I'm a supporter of that, but Africans lack discipline. You see an average African leader, somebody who is nobody, just maybe a businessman. He said to get involved in politics and eventually become a president. Go and check how the person behaved. They start behaving abnormal. So they start behaving like a tyrant, like somebody who don't have human feeling, no conscience whatsoever. But Burkina Faso President Traoré is doing something that not even civilians from Africa, civilian regime have done. His focus is on his people, and you can see that Igbo community in Burkina Faso, reportedly donated something very, very huge to them. And honestly, I love it. I think I have that news here, but for the sake of the time, I'm not gonna add it here. I have it. If I go down here, I will see it. Let's go through what African said. African, I don't know who is behind it, but let's hear what they said. The 11 mercenaries from Nigerian Air Force remain in the custody in Ogundogo, Burkina Faso. Reports of their release and the aircraft continue with the unlawful mission are fake, meant to save Tinubu and Macron, that is French president, meant to save Tinubu and Macron some embarrassment. Mali's president, Colonel Asmi Gote, who is our leader in the AES, has the final say. No one else. The missionaries must explain the purpose of their unlawful mission. No amount of insult on this post will secure their release. Africa is behind the leadership of the AES. Tinubu is illegitimate. Do you get the point? And that's the one thing some of Nigerians in Lagos commenting trash. What they don't know, how many African countries are actually gonna back you up? I'm just kind of eager to know that. How many African countries do you think that will beat their chest now and say, okay, I am backing you up? I don't know, maybe probably Ghana, Cameroon, because those ones are still, kind of confused. But Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and many other countries, of course, I don't know about Kenya, but I believe many African countries are happy. Imagine do you know the love that youth from Africans are showing to Ibrahim Traoré? Youth and people who actually cares about Africa. Ask any Africans in diaspora. Burkina Faso is their pattern is way to go. And you don't quite get it, isn't it? You still believe that somehow there is just a mere talk. Here, this is African story who first reported that they have released this jet and all that. He said that in breaking news, federal government stepped in as Burkina Faso refused to release seized NAFC 130 plane and 11 soldiers. Source Vanguard. They stepped in, and that stepping in has to say they said that they're giving them 24 hours as of yesterday. That 24 hours, I think it has come and gone, if I'm not mistaken. Update as they hot for Burkina Faso. So, now let's hear what this person said. Update as they hot from Burkina Faso. Let's hear this.
Allegedly, our president don't issue ultimatum to Burkina Faso. Say they release those our soldiers where they go. Say failure to do that. Say they go get a fierce response from Nigeria. Say therefore, if you give them 24 hours, they release those soldiers. Say you want to see them for our country. Say without that, say our response, they don't go like that. As it is now, they are not going to understand what they saw. Even Niger now don't issue directive to their custom and to their military. They made an increased restriction to goods made in Nigeria, where they from our country, they enter their country for security purposes. Now they don't put a restriction to be search any goods thoroughly where they come from Nigeria to their own country. Wonder shall never end. As in day now, news don't apply, say allegedly. So Donald Trump don't tell our president. Say since you get men with percent who enter the Republic without undermining their sovereignty to go reform. That means say me said 50 enter your country. Don't do anything that they do because it shows say you get them but you don't want to use them. Stop this insecurity will go on for the country, but use up another man, which is expect me in no time to enter your ground. All these things and this will just like what as it is now, this is about to solve in the coming days. Does it mean say all this way France will enter Burkina Faso, we will not see where enter? Does it mean say now through Nigeria they want to go fight Burkina Faso? Well, if not so, you go red for us, so you go really red for Nigeria because this time around, those who could get things we will not get. Except that France won't they give us, we could use them for them. But if those who call their organ will be Russia, me and you go find where we go hide. Share this video and go to watch it in the sun. Una they follow up, they can give an update back to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, I'm laughing. I'm happy that some people are getting the news. I am afraid of Russia, personally. Yes, I am. I would like to. Because if you think, and guess what? Russia will not tolerate this, like any country trying to undermine their presence in Burkina Faso. You know, when we started it, I told you that once an Abegunama or Nozo, no within a Kurigun. You don't just take it for granted. Even Macron, they know. There are some heat that will hit you. Even Macron cannot save you. Only if you allow yourself to be used, blame yourself. Anyway, let's continue. Here is Vanguard, 7 hours ago. Federal government weighs the way in as Burkina Faso refused to release seized aircraft, that is NAF C-130 plane and 11 soldiers. Those of our people, those Niger guys that are, making some healthy comment as of yesterday and the earlier today. I hope you are now ready. You can't even defeat ordinary bandits in your country. You are not going to Burkina Faso. And you have, do you know, this is, I don't know who is deceiving Tinubu, maybe not, because the moment Nigeria begin to get involved in the external war, the internal war will overrun them. Professor of Mathematical coming to fulfillment. I will draw you to this part and your land will be taken over. They don't want, it's not about to the southeast now, it's about you selling yourself out. You'll be smoked, like the guy said that Nigeria will smoke Burkina Faso. If it were to Burkina Faso versus Nigeria, yes. But now that the Burkina Faso is in hands of Russia, come on. And the animosity between the other European countries and Russia is not here. It's not here. They have been looking for a way to teach those countries a lesson of their life. Anyway, I'm just saying based on what is done in public. And somebody said, breaking, a good step in the right direction. God bless Mali. What happened? Hear this. Mali has announced that students, their citizens, will no longer study French history in their school. They should start learning English or maybe other language. But why are they even wasting time studying French? Now this guy, he said he's from Edo. This kind of people. He's a young guy, but when I look at some of people like this, that's why it helped me to conclude that Nigeria don't have any future. Not that I hate Nigerians. Don't get it wrong. I'm just being real. I'm not spreading hatred on anybody here. I just want to understand, because when you have a youth that can reason like this, there's no future for you. Is a very good example of no future. Like, as people who love Nigeria, when you see somebody like this, just have it in mind there's no future for you. Read what he said. Burkina Faso has roughly 24 million people. Burkina Faso has roughly 24 million people living in an area of about 274,000 kilometers. Army forces, that's armed forces, total number is 20,000 personnel. Ranked 31 first in Africa. Make a point. He's just mentioning those things so that to tell you that to discredit Burkina Faso that they are nobody, you are nobody, but you don't remember that if you start this war, for you to strike in Benin people will divide into two. Some will join Burkina Faso to conquer Benin because AES, Alliance of Sahel States, they are eager to have their way. They want to have access to waterways, and that's why Benin is what there is. You understand? I don't want to go there, but some of you already know what I'm talking about. Now, listen. They want to make sure that this battle is not going to be Burkina Faso alone. That one is certain already. The post that we read before now said that the only person that have final say is Mali president, right? even though the what is going on is taking place in Burkina Faso. But Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger are like 5 and 6 now, and they understand themselves very well. They're working hand in hand, and the Ogapata of them all have issue with the Ogapata, which is not even France is not even Ogapata of Nigeria. France can push you away. They think they will sacrifice their interests for you to survive in a war. Look at Ukraine, even they're all Caucasian. What happened? Do you know the promise they made to Ukrainian president before the commencement of the war and all that? Go, we are here, we are back you, back you. What is going on now? Interest first. Nigeria has roughly 239 million people living in an area of about 923,000 kilometers. It's not about this, the battle between you and them is not about this number you are counting on. For example, because one of them have answered their chiefs and a very, very big name. During Nigerian Biafra genocidal war, Nigerians said that it's going to take them just 2 weeks or a week or a month. I don't know how. They just undermined it. It later lasted for how long? 3 years. The issue of population between Biafra and Nigerian population, Northerners, all Nigerians, apart from eastern part, they are more in number in population. Landmark, they are more in number. Then what happened? 3 good years. It was help of other foreigners that made that even sustain them at all. And then Biafra don't have backup like Russia. They don't have any backup. What happened? Think. Those countries that you are hoping now, they were backing you then. Now in Nigeria, you have thousands of, you have a lot of grievances, division everywhere. How do you think you are going to fight for a war when your house is not even at peace? Is it possible? That's why I think he's the one that fought, because the guy said that there was warning Ibrahim Traoré not to fall to the trap. I think now is Nigerian president falling into the trap that I don't know who set it for him. He said Nigerian military personnel, active military personnel is 223,000 ranked 3 in Africa. Ranking is different from the practical. Theory is different from practical. Joseph Okechukwu. Okay, I'm not gonna bring this one. This one another information for another day. Okay, this is his comment that I want to go through. He said federal government weighed in as Burkina Faso refused to release his airplane with 11 soldiers. Vanguard News. Why do these guys love fake news so much? I posted a few days ago that the C-130 plane seized by Burkina Faso was still being held alongside its military passengers, and these social media arches claim it was fake news. That already hurriedly released them to escape Nigerian route. Knowing what I know about situation like that, I knew they were up to their usual silly games. People who lie as much they speak. Honestly, they lie in Nigeria, and the funny part is people who are not even involved in the government are the ones dishing out this lie to gain political appointments. Look at Reno Mokri now. When people look at him as what he has done and how he started, it will encourage them to lie the more and run propaganda against one another, just to hoping that somehow they will be appointed one day somehow. Today, a national newspaper is publishing this headline. I don't see a nation here. I see a cartel, a very big cartel, very huge one, very huge cartel. This guy, he said from Edo, I don't know, but he's a very senseless human being. 6 hours ago, he said Ibrahim Traoré has crossed the line. The 48 hours ultimatum has expired. Yet Nigerians 11 military and air assets remain held in Burkina Faso. This is the final notice. You have 24 hours. He's the one and giving the hours. He said that 24 hours, 48 hours have the ultimatum has expired. He's now giving another 24 hours to release everything. It will be vicious and painful upon failure to comply. Let me even zoom his face. Was all calling ya given the Madagamato ya. He's not even party world leader. Nobody know him. It's just that you put ACA on, this traditional, I will call it from my place ACA. Just put this kind of thing, bead, put it on your neck and all that, and you think you are. I don't know who is pushing him anyway. He hates anything Igbo people. He's one of those that are, kind of very skeptical about Igbo, Biafran or Igbo. You always want to go against our people for no just reason. But that's the story from that day. Please, I want you to tell me what you think about this, the fake news and everything as it hot. And Abacha also. Just tell me what you think about it. What is your take on this? What are you? When I told you that Nigeria is pregnant, some people misunderstand it. Some people misunderstood it, thinking that I'm just trying to, create a kind of sin and all that. No. But think about it. Then you understand what I'm talking about. Nobody knows tomorrow. Anything can happen. By this time, last 2 months, if anybody will tell you that this kind of thing will be going on, in fact, last 2 months or last 3 months, you wouldn't believe it. Now, American is also carrying out investigation about genocide. They are committing genocide, yet they are going to help another country, because for you to fight another country, it simply means that you are up and doing. You are like, you okay, you are contented. Think about it. God bless you and let me know. Please don't forget to like the video, hit like button and share it to many platforms of your choice. See you again. Hopefully we are going to come live later in the day. Bye.